Today, as always, I endeavor to record the last of my days and those of this once Eden-like planet. For it has been 25 years since that dreadful day, and it is only my thoughts, both pleasant and haunting, that keep me from crossing over the edge of insanity. They contain memories of a better time, and upon my passing, so shall they pass too. We were a curious species, brilliant and yet short-sighted, turning progress into regression, allowing for our mistakes but never truly acknowledging them. The war that eventually rose from our self-absorbed lifestyles had come quickly, but we started a cycle 100 years before that would claim the Earth and its resources with no thought of the consequences. As we prospered, we wanted more. There never seemed to be enough. Damn the consequences, there was a profit to be made. Never thinking we would live long enough to face the realities of our carelessness. I'm not sure how long it was after the last machine's heart stopped beating, for I had been aimlessly wandering for a long time. It was as if I awoke one day and saw my past behind me, like looking back over a long road. Where was I? What was I? And I started to mourn. My parents, my wife, my friends, my world. Thinking of all we did and should have done. But now I am tired, and I miss them. And even though we had it all, we threw it all away. We built great structures and monuments to our brilliance. We built machines to do things we should have done. And we built planes to master the great bodies of water, so we could take away what those on the other side had. There were always wars, of course, and throughout time, every soldier thought his was the divine cause. But the only real cause was greed, and people died. But the most heinous sin of all, the most unforgivable crime, was the suffering of the children. For they knew nothing of the world except to feel it, and therefore did nothing to deserve its horrible revenge. Their voices cried, "Why?" in shock and horror, when the eyes that knew all the answers were vacant and terror-stricken themselves. The eyes of the grown-ups. This time, everything would not be all right. And the children would indeed suffer. They looked to us for answers, but we could have learned from them. Their innocence may have been the key. For they saw things as black and white, true or false, bad or good. But we found ways to complicate that as we grew older. We should have learned from the simplicity of their love and their mistrust of evil. We poisoned our oceans and destroyed species of sea life forever. We violated the sanctity of our homes by using our backyards as toxic dumps. We stockpiled gases that could kill in even small quantities. And in the process of shipping our precious fossil fuels, we carelessly dumped millions of gallons into our most sensitive environments, altering the entire food chain. Then we burned those same fuels until the sky was no longer blue, and a large brown cloud covered it, and fresh air became a rare commodity. We created things from materials that could not be returned to the soil, and ran out of open space to discard them. And the earth started to choke on these things until it could not breathe. We smothered it from above and below, and all points in between. And when the food wouldn't grow, and the water no longer flowed from our pipes, the fighting began. This is what led to the Great War. The fighting grew more and more severe, as did the production of our arsenal, and ironically, with every battle, the very resources we fought for were destroyed even further. They didn't want that to happen, so we developed a new, deadly, and more fiendish weapon that would kill our so-called enemies, but leave the monuments that they built standing. And so we unleashed a virus that slowly made them disappear. And as they died, they cried out for God. Why had he forsaken us now? But alas, he was silent. For we only had ourselves to blame. He gave us Eden, and we mutated it into hell. 25 years is a long time to be alone. More than any man should have to endure. Why was I chosen to stay behind? Many times I have thought of just ending it all, but deep inside I feel there must be some divine reason for my survival. After all, God left me here. He's already angry at what we've done. I don't think it's up to me to decide when the last of the race will become extinct. The bomb, the virus, it would have been academic, for we surely would have ended it anyway. The planet's surface was pockmarked with strip mining and test explosions. The rainforests were cut down. The ozone layer had been ripped open wide enough to expose entire continents to lethal ultraviolet rays. Of course, there were those who valiantly tried to warn us to save us, but short-term profit was the utmost on the minds of those in control. The children. We should have learned from our basic instincts, like the children did. How I miss their laughter. My world is silent now. A silence that is deafening. And now there are signs that things might regenerate themselves, just as the last man is about to die. Earth waited until we were gone. It would have been pointless otherwise. Except for a few species that have adapted, I am the last human being. For Earth will never see another one once I'm gone. Man shall be extinct. The only reason for my still being must be to document these events for the Almighty. But who will read these ramblings of this last apostle? This must be the final verse of Revelations. And like a play, the world needs an epilogue. But why me? A sense of purpose? Fulfilling his wish? Then so be it. I will write until I can write no more. But the worst irony is that I am still fighting a war. A war which is destroying me. But it shall be the last war. For the last war is loneliness.